no rent projects. You know, so they have low rent.
And then there's no rent.
Right. So there's the low income and the no income. So we were in the no income projects. We think poor people doing all right. This was the first one of those buildings they brought down here. And go ahead, we're just gonna take a look.
Yeah, well, save that story for when we get down there. I guess. You know, Gil, I don't want to say that you dropped out of music for 12 years, because certainly you didn't. You were still out there performing, you were writing, but you didn't record.
We did record. We recorded.
I mean, you didn't have anything that was out there that was commercially available in the form of spirit. And I'm just wondering, what took you away from that, and what brought you back?
Well, we worked in Europe. We put out several pieces there. I did a book of poetry. I did a movie. I worked with Steve Van Zandt on the Sun City project. Mm-hmm. We did the Artists Against Apartheid project with Jerry Ade, who wrote Biko. Mm-hmm. We did the Care project with Sting, or the Save the Whales and the White Rhinos and things. You see, Americans have a funny attitude about what's going on in the world. And New Yorkers are even more introspective, or if I can say it, more self-centered. Mm-hmm. New Yorkers have a tendency sometimes to believe that New York is 50% of the world and the rest of the world has 50%. So the news is even served that way. You watch the news and the first part is about what's happening here. Then they may get a little bit to what Clinton did. And if there's a war somewhere, they might mention that on the way to the weather. But the world, you see, is a vast place. This is only a small record market. Mm-hmm. It's only a small record market altogether. So we were working where we could, where we were in demand, where our records were being released. So we had no idea when we released records over there that they wouldn't be picked up over here. Mm-hmm. I play at SOBs 4 times a year. I've done 4 years in a row. I've done the Martin Luther King show down at SOBs. You missed a few shows, buddy.
I missed the one last night, unfortunately. I was sleeping while you were playing, but I was playing while you were sleeping. So
okay.
We're equal.
All right.
But if, as you say, New Yorkers believe that this is 50% of the world, then there's another 50%, and the numbers might actually be higher than that.
Right.
It might be 75-25.
Well, when the Knicks are winning, it's 75-25.
It's 95-5. But so many people look at it as if Gil Scott-Heron was away. He was out of the recording scene for 12 years.
Right, and that's wrong. I mean, I'm saying, if you're not on the radio stations here, you're out of the business. But we were never on the radio here. Yeah. You know, we do songs. We don't play radio. If the radios pick it up and play it, we're pleased. Mm-hmm. We're happy. But we're not trying to tailor make our things to be on the radio. So when it's not on the radio though, I'm saying when I was recording, people would say, when are you gonna put out a new record, because they hadn't heard it on the radio. So it's the same sort of attitude. You have to be doing headlines, or else you're on the breadline. That's what they think.
Right. Does that bother you?
No. Obviously not.
You're a person who seems to me has always not wanted to be included in the mainstream, right or wrong?
I didn't have any choice. You don't have a choice in terms of whether or not you're included in the mainstream. I was writing songs before I knew anything about recording. I was writing the book before I knew it would be published. This is something that you want to do. Mm-hmm. So you don't continue to see what happens sometimes is that you tailor make after you get to be a recording artist. You start to write songs to record. This is where you lose yourself. I was writing songs because I wanted to, because I like to write songs. I like music. I was a piano player from the time, in different groups from the time I was.
And it didn't matter if anybody played them, or if anybody listened to them, as long as you could do it?
Because I was the only one who knew them at first. I knew the chords and the words and stuff.
But it seemed to me that your music was tailored so much for people to listen to try to draw something from, to hear what you were talking about, that you would want people to listen.
You would hope. But see, we still had 14 albums available, and a lot of folks didn't have those. Mm-hmm. We used to say, we'll make a new album when you guys buy them old ones. Any album you buy is new to you. You haven't heard the songs before.
Gil, with so much emphasis now, it seems, on spoken word music, with hip hop and rap going to the heights that they were, suddenly Gil Scott-Heron, who was never a part of the mainstream, is the mainstream. Does that worry you?
No. Do I look worried? You see, I think spoken word and hip hop and rap are still a little bit different from what we do, because I'm a musician, and I was a musician before. I was doing poems that worked well with music. This was the difference, I think, is that the words I write go with the music I write. So there's songs, even if it's spoken. I don't find some music to put under the words I'm saying, or find some words to put on top of a nice beat. They go together. So what I'm doing is a reference point for what that mainstream is doing. But it's still not the Mississippi with everything running off of it. This is a very individual sort of thing, maybe, because those words and that music, when they go together, that's a song. It's not a hip-hop or a rap. It's poetry.
But I guess I'm just wondering if now being accepted by a much broader audience, let me just hold this thought. I guess I'm just wondering if being accepted now by a much broader audience, being acknowledged to be the influence on modern music that you are now, appearing on MTV, I mean, this does not seem to be an aspect of Gil Scott-Heron that we have seen before.
You haven't seen me on MTV yet.
You're doing it. You're doing it soon.
Well, we did the program, but we wanted to see it and see if it worked out before we approved it. There's some young poets there that were doing some very nice things, and they were going out. And they came to me and they said, "Hey, please, we want to go out and we'll do this." I said, "Fine, I'll go out. We don't have no attitude against other poets and stuff. But regardless of what other people have heard or found out, I've been with me all the time. So I have to accept my vision of myself as a much clearer one than the ones other people have managed to pick up by getting bits and pieces here and there. You see? So larger audiences, I've never seen a larger audience than the one they had at Clapham Common for the Artists Against Apartheid show. There were maybe 150 to 200,000 people. I don't know, the estimates are vast. But for as far as I could see, there were people who were clapping and singing along with the songs that we were doing.
This is something I wanted to ask you about. 20 years ago, you were singing Johannesburg.
Right.
You sang it last night and you said, for the first time, this is a song of celebration. When you saw, and I know you're a news junkie, so you're probably watching television. When you saw Nelson Mandela standing up on the dais on Tuesday morning, taking the oath of office as president of South Africa, what went through your mind?
Well, I was so happy for him. I was so happy. I mean, you see, these songs and my singing them are not for me. See, I already know those things. So what they say, I could sit around and celebrate and enjoy at any point. These things are for other people to see what I feel. And I'm saying that, like, when we did the Johannesburg song, we did not do it for me. You see, we want people to know that other folks need help, other folks that we could be supporting and we could be saying something about and doing something about. They need this help. So people come to me and they say, recently, in like 1980s, they say, "Gil, when you did Johannesburg, it was too soon." And I'm saying, man, hey, in 1975, Nelson Mandela had already been in jail for 12 years. He didn't think it was too soon. We think of everything in terms of ourselves. We think that since we didn't know about South Africa, the song was done too soon. We're not thinking about the man. and what he went through and what he's trying to do himself and the people he's trying to help. We're thinking about, when we found out about it, that's when it begins. That's not right. That's what I was trying to say about 50-50.
Well, so many people have said you're so far ahead of your time.
No, I wasn't. I was 12 years behind his arrest.
But the song being about the obviously the intolerance, the injustice of apartheid, you saw the walls come crashing down in that one moment where he said, "So help me God." What did Gil Scott-Heron think about what he saw in South Africa?
I don't know. I don't know any way to sum that up, because I sat and watched it for a while, and a lot of things went through my mind. But I was happy for the man that he made it. See, this was his goal, his destination. And when you're over here and you're writing a song about it, you're just trying to help somebody get somewhere. And maybe in a way, because people come to us and they say they enjoyed the song, even people from South Africa, they appreciate this, that, and the other. Then you feel maybe you did a little something to help.
Was that a day you ever thought you would live to see?
Yeah, sure. When we wrote the song and first performed it, there were 5 nations in Southern Africa that were still under someone else's jurisdiction: Angola, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Namibia, and South Africa, Tanzania. And one by one, we saw them become independent. And we knew South Africa maybe a few years.
Still must have been an amazing scene.
Oh man, it was great. It was great. We were singing Johannesburg, the most dramatic example of that. The most dramatic of the examples of. But we sing that song for Robert Mugabe, for the people in Zimbabwe. We did a benefit program up at the old army on 145th Street there for the Zimbabwe African Nationalist Union. They're trying to get some money to buy an ambulance and some things for various refugees. We have tried to contribute in whatever way we could at whatever point. Johannesburg is like a symbol of the entire continued mistreatment of people in Southern Africa. But each time any one of those places gains some independence, gains some respect, gains some individuality and some self-respect, we felt good as though another step had been taken.
The dissolution of apartheid in South Africa, is that the last shoe to drop, or is there more?
Obviously, like you can look at it as the end of something or as the beginning of something. I would prefer to think it's the beginning than the end, because like there are probably 1,000 little adjustments, as well as some major ones, that people are going to have to make in order to live there, in order to feel like they're comfortable there. But
I guess we should head this way, should we?
Yeah. Just come on over here.
All right, go ahead.
Just start going through the life.
Gil Scott, Anthony.
How you doing, brother?
I like your autograph.
Buddy, I'm trying to say, in this wind-blown circumstance.
That's all right. You can scribble it up. Just spell your name right. That's all I want.
Let me see. I got that down. I've been practicing.
To Anthony, wherever. So I understand you got a new album out, huh?
Yeah, like came out about a month ago. 2-3 people done bought it. They gonna let me work.
Good. When you can have one of my flyers, I'm quite sure you might need a carpenter one day.
Yeah, I'm trying to say.
Have a nice day.
They trying to pull the rug out from under me every once in a
I
while.
have to go back to work.
Okay, man.
This is my first Gil Scott autograph. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Success in
Okay.
94.
Yeah, and this Anthony got a repair place.
Well, if you need any repairs, now you've got the place. where you can
Reliable
go.
repairs. You see, Anthony got a job. We were trying to publicize everybody around here who was working. So if you need some finished carpets or sheetrocking, Anthony does a great number of things.
Well, we haven't seen his work. We've only seen his printing
Well, I'm
ability.
saying that brother done this good.
Gil, what is it important for you to say?
we tried to say it on the album. Not that you got to go get the album to find out what I'm saying. This for folks who didn't get it. There's no one thing you can say to so many people. Each song is a separate part of the whole 360 degrees. We said something about the dangers of nuclear energy in South Carolina. We said something about how we need to unite to get peace. Maybe we don't even have to go to war to get peace, or on work for peace. I'd have to think of a song. What I'd like to say is that I got some ideas here, and I'd like to share them with you and take a listen and see what you can draw from it. There are lots of artists that I've drawn from. I mentioned some of them before, some of them I haven't mentioned.
And what do you hope people will take away if they do listen?
The ideas and the energy and the fact that there are thousands of good people here, you see what I'm saying? You see the news every night and you see 4 or 5 criminals and you say, damn, the society shot there. They should follow that up with a half hour people done the right thing that day, went to work, got the check, went home, did something for the wife and kids, and went the hell on to bed. I think we're looking at it upside down sometimes. We're looking at the circumstances as though there's 98% bad people and 2% trying to get home and get something to eat. I think that maybe if you can put what you see in perspective, the way news sometimes does not, because ain't no news somebody went home and earned the money in there. But if you can put some of this in perspective, if you can look around you and find a way to balance each thing that you see go wrong with somebody you saw doing the right thing and something that you saw go right, you have a way to make it through here. If I just concentrate on the complaint department, then all day long it's the blues and it's the drag and it's downtown. But I know from looking at my mother, from looking at her family, from looking at the folks next door to us uptown there, from even thinking about Miss Hancock, a lady used to live across the hall from me here. This lady, the older lady, and her son, we call her son Hot Rod because they used to push him around in his wheelchair. He had an accident and he hurt himself. Miss Hancock go to work. God bring a day here, Miss Hancock going to work, and she coming home and she fixing the food and she taking care of this. I've seen people do the right thing. I've seen people share their lives and work for other folks. And I know that this brings you something that trying to take things don't belong to you will not bring you. There's a certain sense of satisfaction, a certain good feeling. And I mean, maybe you don't put much value on good feelings. I ain't trying to bring them up to what they ain't, but I'm saying there's a certain value in doing something correct for folks. Something you get back from that you don't get anywhere else. So I'm doing that, and I'm saying if I don't get nothing else, I'll be all right. Because I feel good about it. I think folks will hear a little bit of that if they hear our music or come see us and share some of the feelings. They'll see we mean that. That's real.
Well, I think you just sold at least 5 CDs right there.
I think we got a little jackhammer problem here.
Yeah, we should probably get some B-roll. You know what I'd like to...
A little bit?
All the easy jobs have been taken.
Yeah.
I looked in the paper.
And I don't know how some people get by it. And you wonder how people who grow up in the Bronx are ever going to see anything but the face of the tenement building ahead of them.
I was in the Bronx. I was in this one here. Like I said, if I had to trace it back to say where I came from and exactly how I got to where I am now, I couldn't do it. Like the songs are the best breadcrumbs I could leave along the way. Not for going back, but for people who want to follow. Like my mother, you see what I'm saying? You want to do a story on somebody who could always squeeze 3 into 2 somehow. You talk to her, because I'm saying that she was between Iraq and a hard place, for sure. She to see how much he had learned in it. You know, absolutely what my mother was going through and how difficult it was. I have children of my own now. I'm getting the idea what she was doing. But this is what loving somebody is about. This is what really caring for somebody is about. This is when you sacrifice and you don't feel sacrificial. You feel like you did what you're supposed to. I don't know. Like, see, I'm saying if I'd have been aiming to be a hero, I wouldn't have made it. You see, I don't think you can go and be a hero when you get ready.
But you are in a sense so far removed from your roots, and then in another sense, you're merely one sidewalk panel away.
Well, you know, it's your attitude too. It's what you do to become a hero. See, if you became a hero by going somewhere and criticizing the neighborhood, then you can't come back down there like that. If you went away and you tried to explain what was happening in the neighborhood and why this was a great neighborhood and why being here helps you get where you are, then people who are here, who know that to be true, have some appreciation for you because you're telling their story. You're saying, no, we ain't out. We're just down from there. We're on our way up. If you leave us alone, if you help us, you know, if you support us, if you don't push us in the gutter when you pass us on the sidewalk, you know, we're human beings. We'll be all right. I don't suspect. I know that guy. That's Becky. He got a job.
He got a job?
He got a job. Becky, I never thought he might have stole that.
Well, if he did, he's driving it awfully slow.
Well, but he's going where he want to go, though. He went that way on purpose. This neighborhood, a lot of tremendous people, man. I could never be broke in this neighborhood. I come through this neighborhood and somebody got $2, I get $1. I get, you know, I don't have nothing to eat. They gonna feed me here. That's what this neighborhood is about. I got half a dozen of them around town, so I don't run out. You know, I can go from place to place. Luck down on me. They're good people here, man. They're really good people here.
And what does it say about Gil Scott-Heron that if you need $1, somebody will give you $1, and if you need something to eat, somebody will still give you something to eat here?
That's where we were when we lived here. Me and my mother, when we saw somebody need something, we give to them. I mean, it comes back so slow sometimes. People don't think that what good they do will be back, that they will get some balance out of it. You don't get it till you need it. You come to somebody and you really need it, they give it to you. Like they know the difference between you need it and you want it.
Well, take us over to the park.
Okay.
A thought that I wanted to ask you about here as we walk over is, you talk about these gangster rappers being posers.
Some of them, I don't think none of them is on the most wanted list.
But they say, hey, the issues that we're dealing with, they're the things that are going on in our hood. This is what's happening. We're just reflecting that. Do you believe that?
Most of them don't come from that hood. Some of them do. I'm saying like it's hard to speak on all of them in one sentence. Like it's hard to speak on me and then in a group of people because what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do don't necessarily fit the stereotype of the group. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that like leave us not determine the value. Yeah, see this is my building here. I used to sneak through here. We used to sit up on this thing here. Me and Hot Rod used to sit up on this thing here and listen to the Met games. Let's go through here and go to the park. Go over there where we're playing.
All right.
Yeah. But this is where we used to sit, man. We listened to the Mets were independent.
That must have been a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm saying '69 when the Miracle Mets performed the Miracle. It was a double miracle down here in fourth. It was really a miracle. You know, they finished like ninth the year before that. So man, we were so used to losing, we couldn't even understand. Every night we was just, we can't believe it.
They were a good team that's going to win the World Series.
Nah, man, you ain't gonna get me to tell that one.
So what do you remember about living here, Gil?
There's a poem. There's a poem in the book called "Coming from a Broken Home." Can we sit down?
Yeah, why don't we sit over here because there's a fan over there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm tired, man. Y'all running me around.
We don't do it intentionally.
I'm a nocturnal. Sit up here. Get up.
We can't just magically appear.
Oh,
on
I
the
like it.
bench.
I was trying to do David Copperfield. I always wanted to like suddenly be somewhere.
You want to get sawed in half one day? Oh, I want a date with Claudia Schiffer. That'd be fine.
No, see.
Now we're talking. Okay.
We didn't come about an agreement.
So you're saying about a poem in one of your books?
There's a poem in So Far So Good.
Go ahead, sir.
It's called Coming from a Broken Home, and it talks about 13th and 9th in the dark and playing down the street in the park, or bringing out the bongos and the congas and the cowbells and stuff in the evening. This is the neighborhood where I met the music of Willie Bobo and Cal Jada and Johnny Colon and Eddie Palmieri and Ray Barretto. This is where the Latin influence and my music came from. This neighborhood here about sundown gets real lively. Folks start to bring out the instruments and stuff and play in the park here and down the street. And mostly down the street, because see, they got the seniors and the youngsters live in these buildings. So down the street from here and in the park on 13th and 9th, that's where the folks used to come out. And you did the 20-card poker and the dominoes and then all the things that you see in these neighborhoods that you don't understand what the hell they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're gambling.
And how does it look to you now?
Oh, it looks a little better. I'm saying they've kept it remarkably in one piece. We used to think that we used to think, hey, this ain't gonna last. With the devils, we had the Devil's Disciples, and that was one group, and the Assassins was another one. We used to think that was our local Crips and Bloods, I guess. We used to think it was gonna be a shootout over here one night, and they were just gonna clear this whole area out. The fact that it's been maintained as well as it has is impressive.
Yet there are so many areas in this city where there are the shootouts. They do clear out the area where the infrastructure certainly doesn't look anything like this.
Yeah, well, see, I'm saying like our community isn't what it used to be. You see, like the African community is no longer just the African community. It is now the black community, because we have people from Jamaica, from Cuba, from Colombia. When they come, they all join our neighborhood. And the things that they learned when they were growing up and the struggles that they went through were so much more dramatic in many instances than what even our poverty has led us to understand. That those folks are desperate. So if it happens in the black community, though, it is attributed to the black Americans. They say, well, what's happening in your community? So what two people shot? Well, this is not merely a reflection of black Americans. It is a reflection of us, because we have to absorb all these vibrations and still stand up like we used to. This is why I have included in my music songs about illegal aliens and songs about storm music from Jamaica and folks trying to do the gamboot to the rhythms of Johannesburg. It's because we got those folks that live with us now, and we have to pay some respect to that. That's why I had to learn Spanish, because if you're in New York, you don't speak no Spanish. You must be referring to the second language, which is English here in New York.
Let me impose on you here for a minute, Gil, to get you, because we didn't get you doing it in performance last night, a little bit of Message to the Messenger. Some of the parts of it that you might think are relevant.
Well,
I mean, not to say that the rest of the song isn't relevant, but perhaps some of the passages that you think are the most poignant.
Oh man, it starts off by saying, hey, yeah, we the same brothers from a long time ago, and we were talking about television and doing it on the radio. What we did was to try and help our generation realize that you had to get out there and get busy, because it wasn't going to be televised. Older folks in our neighborhood got plenty of know-how. You got to remember that if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here now. We got respect for young rappers and the way they freewaying, but if you want to make a real impression, be sure you know what you're saying. Because if you want to be responsible for a whole generation and you know enough to take care of their education, be sure you understand about the past situations and not just repeating what you heard on the local TV station. Because sometimes they take lies and put them in a truthful disguise. But that's why we said it wasn't going to be televised. What we're trying to say now is that anything you want to do and find out how you know it. If they really knew the truth, why would they tell you? So all them gunslinging young brothers, the man is glad to see us out there killing one another. Because then they can come in and control our situation. They want half of us on dope and the other half in incarceration. They will come into our neighborhood and do what they can to find out if we really understand what's going on. A lot of them young brothers are getting the wrong idea with the gun in their hand. They think they're real independents, but they're just pulling contracts for the man. Tell all the brothers you see out there on the street that what we need nowadays is a little bit more peace. Something to keep the peace.
Could I ask you to do the stanza about the 4-letter words and 4-syllable words?
If I remember. We try to remind folks that things don't go just halfway. You can't have respect on every other song or every other day. What we're saying now, talking about now, is that songs about the women folks. On one song, she's your African queen. On the next one, she's a joke. 4-letter words or 4-syllable words won't make you a poet. They will only show how shallow you are and let everybody know it. So what we're trying to say is that you want the respect, you can get it, but you can only get it by being an example of it. If you attract respect, you don't even have to sing no song. People will just respect you. Like I ain't got no R-E-S-P-E-C-T songs like brothers in the neighborhood. They just come up and say, "What's up?" They have taken that from the body, I guess, of our work. People who be doing a lot of screaming about respect, they're insecure about it. We think respect comes from showing it, and you get it that way. You couldn't come through this neighborhood and they run you off this neighborhood, you don't get no respect. Because they test everybody. You know, they test the black man who don't walk by himself in the middle of this neighborhood.
If you had one opportunity to drive home the strongest message you could in one opportunity only, what would you say to people?
Oh man, I guess based on what I've said most recently is don't give up. Like news come down so hard on you sometimes you just say, damn, I can't do wrong right, and you get discouraged. We're sympathetic to that. I would say these tests are tests we can pass. That I wouldn't want to see our young folks give up and feel as though they can't get nowhere with their lives. Your life is a gift from the gods. It is a precious thing that the spirits have allowed you to do something with and use it to influence everybody you come in contact with in a positive way. Don't worry about what's going wrong now. That's just to see if you really got it in here, if you really got the character and the heart. Don't take the easy way out by just throwing your life away. That's real easy nowadays. Like take a little time to think about where you can go by finding the folks around you that did go somewhere. You see, I'm saying we get the ones who didn't go nowhere blown up in the headlines, and the rest of them is backstage in their obits. We make headlines in your head of the successes and keep reading the front page every time you feel bad. I would say that, yeah.
Well, if you get hit by a bus on the way back, we've got it on tape. Gil, thank you.
That wasn't exact.
All right, let me change.